Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me over the fan, plural. I have to get a mint or something, sorry. My mouth is dry and ignore me. My bags. I've got to learn. I have no makeup on. When do I ever? In these videos. Do I have earrings? Oh yeah, I have earrings on. Okay. Just to make note for myself, this is my first time filming in my new place. I'm hoping to be my new place with longevity of a few years while I finish school and do some more self-healing. And what inspired me to record today, because I haven't even looked, but it's been, I'm sure, over a month, if not longer, is that Charlie Kirk was assassinated the other day. And not just taken from this earth, but like in a way that I think is going to really change society for a while. His 4-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son were less than 10 feet from him, and it hit a main thing, and it was just, I couldn't even watch it. It was so awful, and the outrage of other people celebrating his death is just, I can't believe somebody would celebrate another person's death over words. That's the thing. He wasn't even violent. It's weird. Not weird. It's sad. That's what it is. It's sad. Okay, so it's been a while, and we're still on the book, The Chronicles of Baron Trump. No, the collection of Baron Trump. Oh, dang, I switched my watch up and it went like smooth on the time. Okay, here we go. The collection of Baron Trump. We're on chapter 8. Page 241. Sorry. We don't want no crazy. Oh, you might hear the train. I live real close to the train. Okay. It was a sight so strangely beautiful that many times I paused to gaze upon it. Young and old, all clad in the same gracefully flowing garbs of silk, now purple, now royal blue, now rich vermilion, were hurrying hither and thither, each armed with a handful of hither and thither, each armed with the inevitable black fan, and the baby face of each aglow with life and sweet content, while 100 fountains springing from crystal basins glistened in the dazzling white light, and 10 times 100 flags and gonfalons hung listless but rich in splendor from invisible wires. Strange music came floating across from the gracefully shaped barges that, with silken awnings, which were gliding noiselessly over the surface of the winding river, the oars stirring the water until the walker seemed a path through molten silver. Life. Here we go. As Bulger and I followed Master Cold Soul along the streets of polished marble, it was not long before a crowd of Mickaminkies was at our heels, whispering all sorts of uncomplimentary things about us, mingled with not a few fits of suppressed laughter. The court depressor reproved them sternly. Cease your ill-timed mirth, said he, and go about your business. Must I pause and tell you a gruesome tale to check your foolish gaiety? Know ye not that all this silly mirth doth quicken your hearts, and make them run down just so much sooner? At these words of Master Cold Soul, they fell back and put an end to their giggling, but it was only for a moment, and by the time we reached the portal of the royal palace, a still louder and noisier crowd was close behind us. Master Cold Soul suddenly halted, and drawing forth a huge pocket handkerchief, began to weep furiously. It was not without its effects, and from that moment I could see that the Mickaminkies were inclined to take a more serious view of my arrival in their city, although it was only Cold Soul's presence that kept them from bursting out into fits of violent laughter. Above the portals of the Queen's palace, there were large openings hewn in the rock for the purpose of admitting light into the royal apartments. But these windows, if they may be called such, were hung with silken curtains of delicate colors, so that the light which entered the throne room was tempered and soft. The room itself was likewise hung with silken stuffs, which gave a look of oriental splendor, but never in my travels among strange peoples of faraway lands had my eyes ever rested upon any work of art that equaled the crystal throne upon which sat Galaxa, Queen of the Mickaminkies. In the upper world, most diligent search had never been able to unearth a piece of rock crystal more than about 3 feet in diameter. But here in Queen Galaxa's throne, 4 glorious columns of at least 15 feet in height, and at their base 3 feet in diameter, shot up in matchless splendor. The lower parts shut in spangles of gold that glittered with ever-varying hues as a different light fell upon them. The cross pieces and pieces making up the back and arms had been chosen on account of the exquisitely beautiful hair and needle-shaped crystals of other metals which they enclosed. A silken baldachin of rare beauty covered the throne, and from its edges dropped heavy cords and tassels of rich color and the perfection of human handicraft as to fineness and finish. I swear I can read. That's why I'm doing this. At first, at the foot of the throne sat the young Princess Crystallina, and standing behind her and engaged in combing her long silken tresses was her favorite waiting maid, Damosel Glowstone, while around and about, in files and group-wise, stood lords and ladies, courtiers and counselors by the dozen. As Master Cold Soul advanced to salute the Queen, a throng of the elders who had followed at our heels crowded into the anteroom with loud outbursts of laughter. The court oppressor was greatly incensed, and turning upon the throne, And turning upon the throng, he began weeping again with wonderful energy. But I noticed that it was nothing but sound. Not a tear fell to obscure the crystal clearness of his eyes. Then he began chanting a sort of song, which was intended to have a depressing influence on the wild mirth of the Mickey's. I can only recollect one verse of the solemn chant of the court depressor. It ran as follows: "Weep, Mickey's, weep, oh weep, for the eyeless man in the city of light, for the mouthless man in plenty's bowers, for the earless man in music's realm, for the noseless man in the kingdom of flowers. Weep, Mickey's, weep, oh weep." But they only laughed and louder, crying out, "Nay, Master Cold Soul, we will not weep for them. Weep for them thyself." At last Queen Galaxa raised her... It's really crazy considering what's going on right now. Raised the slender golden wand, tipped with a diamond point that lay within her hand, and instantly a hush came upon the whole place, while every eye was riveted upon Bulger and me. Oh, chapter 9. Bulger and I are presented to Queen Galaxa, the Lady of the Crystal Throne. How she received us, her delight over Bulger, who gives proof of his wonderful intelligence in many ways. How the Queen creates him Lord Bulger, all about the three wise men in whose care we are placed by Queen Galaxa. Owing to the soft air, the never-varying temperature, and the absence of all noise and dust, the Minimickies, although they die in the end like other folk, yet do they never seem to grow old. Their skin remains soft and free from wrinkles, and their eyes as clear and bright as the crystal of Queen Galaxa's throne. At the time of our arrival in the land of the transparent folk, Queen Galaxa's heart had almost run down. In about 2 weeks more, it would come quietly and gently to a stop. For, as I already told you, dear friends, the heart of the Minimiki being perfectly visible, when the dazzling white light in its full strength was allowed to shine through the body, why, it was very easy matter for a physician to take a look at the organ of life, and tell almost to the hour when it would exhaust itself. In other words, run down. Galaxa looked every inch a real queen, as she half reclined upon her glorious crystal throne. She was clad in long flowing silk garments of a right royal purple, and the gems which encircled her neck and wrists would have put to shame the crown jewels of any monarch of the upper world. Her garb had very much the cut and style of the ancient Greek costume, and the gold sandals worn by her added to the resemblance. But the one thing that excited my wonder more than all the others put together was her hair. So long, so fine, and so silken it was. Such a mass of it was there, and so dazzling white. It was not blue or yellow white that comes of age in our world, but a milk white, a cotton white. Okay, my alarm's been going off for a minute, and only because I have shit to do, like go to a job. Am I gonna stop? No, stop. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. Interesting. I didn't get very far, did I? I apologize. Not having read for a while. I mean, I'm reading school shit now. That's probably why. Okay, but I am still going to read this little thing here that I made up. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distraction and the noise around me. Block it out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon. Forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery. Honor my journey. We are slaves to our own incessant urges to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals, leave life to wonder all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to love yourself. Yeah, that's true. Lose all ties to victim mentality. We're here to help ourselves, people. I appreciated time today. Try to do it again tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Bye.